Uh, so it's, I mean, okay, well, I mean, the first few times my characters died is because I didn't understand the game mechanics, right? So the first time I didn't understand how combat works, and so I walked up and just died. That's an interesting perspective on game difficulty and content options to see different ways to do things. Yeah, I mean, but you know, as you say, Wesley, it's what I do. The kind of thing that I do is I do stupid things to see what happens, and so you know, like I'll play through like I'll play carefully for like 5 or 6 hours, and then I get to a point where I'm like, but what if I do that? And then I do it and I die, and I'm like, oh damn it, I have to start again. And so it's like I just can't help myself after being careful for some time. I just can't help myself. Tetris says reminds me of the classic debate over whether or not games like Dark Souls should have easier modes. Yeah. Although Dark Souls is not perma-death, is it? Like, I mean, I understand Dark Souls. I mean, I haven't played Dark Souls fully. So, I mean, you lose stuff when you die, but it's not like you lose everything when you die, right? I mean, if every time you die, you have to repeat the same stuff for several hours, then I feel like it impedes the gameplay. But that's just how I play, though. I mean, a lot of people like Dark Souls, right, Tetris? It's not like Dark Souls did poorly as a game. It's not permadeath, only a bit of progress lost, yeah. So, Tetris, have you played Dark Souls a lot? And if you have, when you die in Dark Souls, how much time do you have to grind to get back to where you were? Like, you know, usually when you die in Dark Souls. Like, what does it cost in terms of having to redo stuff? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In terms of, you know, like difficult games, Monster Hunter. Well, I mean, it's not really that difficult, but in terms of like the likelihood of you failing a hunt. But Monster Hunter, each hunt at most is 50 minutes, right? And so if you fail a hunt, at most you lose 50 minutes of your life. Tetris Chemist said it can range from losing a few minutes to maybe half an hour, I found. Okay, half an hour. Typically you're only risking your currency to level up since you can't instantly level. Right. So, you know, up to half an hour. You know, if it's half an hour, I think I'll be okay with it. As I said, like Monster Hunter, if you fail a hunt, you basically wasted an hour of your life. Or 50 minutes of your life. But this war of mine, you know, like, to go through 10 days takes several hours. And so if you do something stupid on the 11th day, your character, one of your characters just permanently dies. Although you can still win the game because you have multiple characters in this war of mine. And so even if some of your guys die, you can still finish the game. But that's not really the point. The point isn't whether or not I can continue, the point is I want to see what happens at that point in time. Like, you know, there's a situation in a supermarket, there's a soldier attacking a civilian. And you can, I guess, you can fight him, you can hide from him, you can try to interrupt him and run away. Like there's a range of things you can do. I just want to see what happens if you try different things. I don't want to play through like 5 hours of content to get back to that point, you know, 5 or 6 times to try different options. Wesley says, I've never played Dark Souls, but isn't it a hard mode Skyrim or something? it's a game where the bosses are quite difficult. Or at least they're grindy. The bosses are quite grindy. And you have to learn the movement patterns and know how to counter them. It's kind of like a hard mode Skyrim. Wesley says, well, Skyrim can be grindy, but not really for the bosses. They're all pretty easy. That's true. I mean, Skyrim, when I play Skyrim, I just play on the hardest difficulty. And even then, it's only hard for like the first 30 or 40 levels. I mean, if you play on the hardest difficulty, fighting a dragon when you're level 10 is pretty epic in Skyrim. Dark Souls just has combat you have to learn and get used to. It doesn't have any of the other pseudo-MMO aspects of Skyrim. Pseudo-MMO aspects of Skyrim. Well, I mean, there's loot and there's gear. Are there like skills? Has anyone here played Dragon's Dogma? No. Do you have anything to recommend? Like, is it... What kind of game is it? One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6. Dragon's Dogma is like Skyrim and Dark Souls sort of, says Tetris Chemist. I mean, I'm not sure if that really explains the game. I mean, I've heard of it. I've seen pictures of it. I haven't really seen anyone play it. Alright, we're going around the lake here. There's an incredibly cool combat system where you use abilities and can target certain spots on monsters. You can climb on them, and the fight's a lot more satisfying since there's a whole range of fantasy monsters. Hey, that sounds cool. It sounds a bit like also Shadow of the Colossus. If you're like climbing around on monsters. Oh, Monster Hunter and Dark Souls, okay. Not Skyrim and Dark Souls. I feel like the late game of Monster Hunter is already like Dark Souls though. I mean, early game is pretty smooth sailing. But late game Monster Hunter is like you fail several dozen times trying to clear a mission. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, we're almost there for the gold side. Tetris Chemistry says the main recommendation I'd give about Dragon's Dogma is that it has far better archery and magic than any other game I've played. So how is it different? How is it different from other archery and magic? I mean, most games it's just you aim and shoot, right? Just aim and click and that's mostly it. Although Magicka, you have to draw symbols with your mouse. Or is it draw symbols or is it press button sequences? I think it's press button sequences. Although Skyrim VR, you have to use your virtual reality controls and actually aim your bow and things in virtual reality. Not that many people doing big VR things, but Bethesda seems to be investing a lot in at least remaking the existing games for VR. Oh, the Switch version of Skyrim also has motion controls. Tetris says, like, hold down a magic attack to channel it essentially. Oh, well, the way combat works is that you have 9 classes, each one has abilities for combat and passive attributes, so you equip up to 6 combat abilities and charge them. Okay. I'm not sure I would really enjoy motion controls. I mean, imagine Minecraft motion controls. You actually have to, like, you know, do this and do this all the time. Wouldn't your arm get tired? Like every time you want to dig a block, you're like doing that with your arms? Motion controls just seems like you get tired arms a lot. And like sometimes you watch sci-fi movies and like their displays are like the haptic displays. There's like a giant thing in front of them and they're just moving their arms around. Wouldn't your arms get tired if that's your interface? Minecraft motion controls seems like it would just be a yard work simulator. It would be. I mean, if I was gonna do yard work, I'd just do yard work. Although some people don't have yards, I guess. Okay. Dirt punching simulator with motion controls. That's a great idea, Wesley. You just Imagine if you watch me spend hours on stream doing this. Oh wow. And it's just dirt. You're just punching dirt. That's great, Wesley. That is a great idea. Somebody tell Microsoft. Motion controls for Minecraft. I would get so tired, I swear. Literally hours of punching. Alright, so that's the... don't break things. Alright, so that's the last of the gold bits. And then we move over to the iron bits. Alright, half of the dirt punching is done. Now for the other half. Let's come over here, put that down. Wesley says, not sure how you would explain to people why one arm is thicker than the other side though. I mean... I guess I'll just have to let them assume. I mean... It's not like they'll believe you if you tell them the truth. It's like, I play Minecraft a lot, and they're like, oh really? That's why your right arm is so much stronger than your left arm. Although we can dual wield, right? We can like dual wield double punching in Minecraft. Which actually, would this be faster if I dual wield? Where's my tools? If I like diamond pick on the other hand. Oh, you can't do it? Oh, you can't do it. Never mind, you can't dual wield. If I have nothing in my hand, you can't. Oh, you can't dual wield. I thought you could. Maybe they haven't done it yet. Okay, I broke that one. I know. I saw that happen. I mean, I'm a little bit of a VR skeptic. Although, I mean, I'm interested. Just not sure it'll be great. Never really understand the dual wielding in Minecraft. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit dubious to me. I mean, putting a map on the left hand is kind of useful, I get that. Shields, I just never was interested in shields. Oops. I feel the same way, Wesley. It feels like it was never really completely fleshed out. I mean, like it's there, but not entirely sure why it's there. Except for shields. I mean, only shields really make sense. And the minimap, if you put a map in your left hand. One, two, three, four, 5 and 6. Wesley says, to be honest, I was really skeptic about VR at first, then my friend brought an Oculus and I went to try it and I was so amazed by it that I bought one myself. Oh cool, and now I love playing it, says Wesley. Well, maybe I just need to buy one. Tetris says, I mean, I've worked stocking jobs before where I'm constantly lifting stuff for 8 hours, so I think people would get more fit at least with VR motion controls. That is true. People will, I mean, it'll be exercise, if nothing else. So you have an Oculus Rift? How many games do you like? What are some major games that you have, Wesley, that works really well with Oculus Rift, or just everything?